Between concrete walls, there's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Livestream. I figured that's how Louis Rossmann does his streams, right? He just leans back in his recliner. He's got a big, like a Barca lounger. I don't. He just leans back. He's got a mic coming in from over there, and he doesn't have his feet up, but I mean, he would. Louis, he's got like millions of subscribers, right? That's what we'll do. We'll just. This is how we're going to do the whole stream. What's up, everybody? I can't figure out. I mean, mad respect to Louis Rossmann. He makes good content. Don't get me wrong, but I can't figure out. He is such a like he literally just sits in a Barca lounger and leans back and like it's like wearing your grandmother's sweater, and he's got a mic coming in from the side and he talks about whatever, and I'm like. I guess good content is king because, like, I don't know. He just sits there and talks. Interesting. Yeah, just I don't know. I don't get it. I've been trying to make better content lately. Trying to put more intentional effort into some of my videos, not all of them. And what I see so far is that for about 10 times as much work, I can get roughly 2 times the views. And I'm not sure it's worth it. Maybe I should go back to just shitting out content. And, you know, I'm doing all right. It's like, why do I need twice as many views? I don't know. Something's wrong with me. Oh, all right. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to answer your questions. Whose? Yours. You. I'm looking at you. We're going to answer questions about FPV and anything else I can think of. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Happy 4th of July to the Americans out there watching. Happy 4th of July. To any British, any English people out there, you know, sorry for kicking your ass. You know, it had to be done eventually, right? I mean, on a long enough timeline, doesn't every country eventually rebel from the British Empire? I mean, it's kind of like it makes me think of, you know, you're a parent, and if you're a parent and you have one kid, and that kid grows up and becomes a teenager and is like, F you, mom and dad, I'm not living in your house anymore, you can't tell me what to do. And they move out. And, you know, like as a parent, maybe you kind of don't know, did I screw up? But if you're a parent and you have like eight kids, like all at once, just boom, 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 boom. And then like by the time the fourth one goes, F you, mom and dad, I'm leaving. You're like, oh, I see how it goes. And I feel like that's what it must be like to be the British Empire. Just, you know, colonies all around the world. Oh, which colony is revolting today? And America is like, you know what we did? We declared our independence from the British Empire and kicked them out of our country. And everybody else is like, yeah, so we all did that. We all, like, everybody who hasn't declared independence from the British Empire, raise your hands. Canada's like, we're pretty much independent. We're a protectorate. No, but we're special because we did it. And that's what the 4th of July is about. Remembering that we are the only country to ever successfully declare independence from the British Empire. And we were the first. And we did it the best. That's what we celebrate on the 4th of July. Welcome to the live stream. And that's why we don't drink tea. We drink coffee. Not that tea's not good. Tea is amazing. Tea is wonderful. But it's just too many bad memories. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming out where I workshop my comedy routine for about 8 minutes. And what we really do here, though, is we talk about FPV. I'm going to be taking your questions. Here in the chat. And I'm also going to be taking questions over here from the beautiful, beautiful sausages in my Discord server. Thank you, sausages. These people over here in the Discord server are my patrons, and you can join them. We'll talk more about that later, if you like. If I like. And if you want to make sure I read your question, like Roman Hansi, that's a good question. I'll be getting that question because I just answer all the questions I like. But if you want to make sure I get your question, hit the $sign right here. Boom, hit that $sign. Leave a super chat. Write your question in the super chat, and I will. There have been no super chats. You could be the first super chat today. Let's get some questions. Andrew Faulkner. Andrew Faulkner is going to start us off. My ESC caught fire. Do I need to do anything in Betaflight when I replace it? RIP your ESC. So you should make sure that the motors are spinning the right direction. Anytime you solder on new motors, there's potential that the motor will not be spinning the right direction. So just double check that the motor's spinning the right direction. In Betaflight 4.3, you can use the motor direction wizard, and it will make life a lot easier for you. Yeah, it seems about right. It seems about right. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh, bot grinder. Bot grinder. My goodness. Well, Ghost Branch FPV's birthday is apparently today. Ghost Branch, one of the most active and members of my Discord. Pretty cool guy. Happy birthday, Ghost Branch. How about the question from... Let's see. We got a question here from... What was it? Who was it? Oh, great. Now I've lost the question. Okay. I don't know. I lost that question. I'll keep trying to find it. But in the meantime, here's a question from Aircon. Aircon, I'm glad you said this. I ordered the mic from your Orca V2 review, but it doesn't work with my Orca V2. Am I dumb, or did you confound it with the Orca V1? I think the V2 Orca has a TRRS plug, doesn't it? Aircon, you are 100% correct. I bought that mic. I tested it with the Orca V1, and I don't know if I explicitly... I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and check the record, what I said. But I guess I didn't notice that it doesn't work with the Orca V2. Is it still linked in that video? Because if it is, I should fix that. I have recently noticed that the microphone isn't working on my Orca V2s, and thought, that's weird. I should look into that. But I never did get around to looking into it. So what I'm going to do right this minute is double check. Okay, yeah, so, edit, this doesn't work, possibly because the new Orca has a TRS plug instead of a mono plug. I need to look into that. I'm going to take the link out. I can't put that in there. Okay, there. So we're going to save that. And I will have to find a new plug, or a new microphone. I'm glad you pointed that out, because it's been bugging me to not have audio, and I thought maybe my goggles were broken. I just hadn't gotten around to looking at it, because I don't fly as many analog quads, so I don't fly my Orcas as often. It was the last time I was working on it was with that... with the whoop video. So what should I search for? Right angle microphone TRRS. No, I don't want the cable though. Damn. Does it have a TRRS jack? See, that's too bad. I don't know where we're going to find. It took forever to find that exact microphone to mount. Here's a gooseneck plugin. This is close. This is close. That's close. That might be worth picking up. It's close. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not going to spend hours searching. If anybody knows of a stubby microphone that 100% works with the Orca V2, definitely drop me. Oh, here we go. That looks promising. So that is the correct plug. Does the Orca V2 definitely have... Does it definitely have a TRRS? Microphone, headphones, adapt. Choose between mono and stereo sound. No. I don't know. Okay, here's the manual. DVR can record audio from external microphone. To record microphone, plug in microphone to 3.5 millimeter. Make sure you have the correct pinout. Check the diagram on page 18. All right, where's page 18? This is page 18. Where's the diagram? Uh-oh. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We're so close. There's no diagram. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm not going to spend 20 bucks on that microphone. Oh, here we go. Avian, head tracker, audio mic, ground, headphone. So that's not TRRS. That's TRRS. That's TRS. All righty. Well, okay. Oh, that's the old one anyway. All right. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch more live stream time trying to figure that out, but I acknowledge that old mono microphone doesn't work. So that maybe this one works. I'll show it to you one more time if you want to look for it. But I'll do a little more research and I'll try to update that. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see. The question that I can't find again was about extending DJI antennas to external antennas. Okay, this is a bad idea, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason it's a bad idea is that when you buy those little extension cables, those pigtail cables, the antenna extension cables, they're usually absolute shit quality. They're just terrible quality. The impedance is all over the place. And usually, if you get an 18 or a 24-inch antenna extension cable to try to put the antenna like outside your car or something like that, usually the additional loss of the cable is probably offsetting whatever benefit you're getting by extending the antenna. So, what you would need to do is you would need to get 4 antenna extension cables and screw them into your goggles, and then move the antennas. You need some kind of a 3D printed antenna mount to hold the antennas, and then move the antennas wherever they need to be. But I don't recommend it because, like, let's say you're sitting inside your car. I don't know how many dB of loss you're losing by sitting in your car. I'm not going to try and spitball that. But I would wager that when you take into account the loss of the cables, you're better off just sitting in your car with the antennas on your head than trying to rig up some complicated nonsense to extend them. That's my opinion. I'm just going to spend 18. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to spend 20 bucks on this stupid microphone. There, proceed to check out. It's a business expense. They write it off, Jerry. They write it off. You don't know what that means, do you? It's my working on my one-man Seinfeld show. It's a business expense. You know what a business expense means? It means I spent my own money, and I get like a, I don't know, 20 whatever percent tax deduction, whatever my tax rate is. I don't really know what my tax rate is. Why don't I know what my tax rate is? Because I have an accountant who worries about those things. All right, I'll let you know. Roman Hansi, thank you for a €5 super chat for getting that question. Bubby, you know what you know what a business expense means. Every month, me and Issa sit down as the 2 adults of the family, and we talk about our budget. And as part of our budget, each of us gets a certain amount of sort of an allowance, if you will, a discretionary income. We get the same amount, and then every month, all of my FPV expenses are business expenses. And then I have all this discretionary money left over, and I'm like, I don't know, I didn't spend it. Okay, continue. Yeah, Abrahams, thank you for backing me up on that. Abraham says, I made that antenna extender window mount thing. It was pretty pointless because the length of the coax caused a lot of loss. Bubby FPV, thank you for a $2 super chat. You are not the first, but thank you for a $2 super chat. Anthony Greco, thanks for a $10 super chat. I'm trying to figure out how to set up GPS on a Diatone Roma F5 V2. Betaflight appears set up when I go fly. I'm never getting any sats. Any advice, video tutorials I could look into? So Anthony Greco, let's assume that you are starting from scratch and you are setting up the GPS. In other words, that the quad didn't come with GPS pre-configured. The very first thing that you want to do is, hello, Betaflight. Come on, baby. Come on, Betaflight. There we go. The very first thing you want to do is go into the ports tab, and you want to enable GPS on whatever port that you connected your GPS TX and RX wires to. And then you should say auto baud here, okay? Don't set the baud rate manually. You don't need to do that. I mean, if you know for a fact what baud rate your GPS is expecting, manually setting the baud rate will slightly increase the boot time, but you could just set auto baud. It's fine. And if it's not working, set auto, because that's going to help it. Hey, I said auto. Hey, what are you doing? I said auto. Ooh, try to be clever. Then we're going to go to the configuration tab. And in the configuration tab, we want to enable GPS. Hold on, let me zoom in on this a little bit. We're going to enable GPS. And then what we want to do is set the U-Blocks protocol, auto baud, and auto config. Okay? And then save. All right? Now, when you do that, you should see in the upper part of the screen that GPS turns yellow. Now, mine doesn't turn yellow because this is just a flight controller. It doesn't have a GPS. It's just literally sitting here on my desk for demonstration purposes. At that point, GPS should turn yellow. If GPS icon does not turn yellow, then the flight controller is not talking to the GPS unit and you cannot proceed. Okay? You have to have the GPS icon yellow. Now, once you have the GPS icon turned yellow, the next challenge is getting the GPS to lock satellites. And this can be a problem because, like, the electrical interference from the flight controller from the video transmitter can make it very, very hard to lock satellites. Anthony Greco says it was plug and play, so it came connected and I maintained the defaults. So your GPS icon should be yellow. Right? At that point, how do you get it to lock? The number one reason a GPS won't lock is that there's too much electrical noise. So you've got your quadcopter. Your quadcopter has a video transmitter. It's spewing RF emissions. It's got a receiver with telemetry transmissions. It's spewing out. Even the processor on the flight controller can create high frequency noise that interferes with the GPS. Okay? So how do you fix this? One way to fix this is to power up the GPS from USB. Now, if Diatone was smart, they already set it up this way. Plug in USB, don't plug in a battery, and see if the GPS lights up. And if it does, congratulations, that's your solution. If it doesn't, then you're going to want to move the GPS power to a pad that powers up from USB. So either if the GPS takes 5 volts, then the 5 volt pad that the receiver is using might output 5 volts from USB. Again, plug in USB, see if the receiver lights up. If it does, and if the GPS is already using 5 volts, move the GPS to the same 5 volt pad as the receiver. Or if the GPS is using 3.3 volts, then almost certainly it will light up from USB. And some GPS can take between 3.3 and like 6 volts, in which case you might move the GPS from 5 volts to 3.3 volts. Regardless, you want to have the GPS power up from USB. And then what you do is at the field, you plug USB into the flight controller, the GPS powers up, but the the video transmitter doesn't, and then it may get lock a little faster. Now, you don't want it to light up from a battery, because when you plug a battery in, the video transmitter is also broadcasting and it'll take forever to get lock. The other thing that you can look at is the V-Fly GPS Mate, which is a device that provides external power to GPS units. So what this is, it's a little battery, it's a V-Fly buzzer, and it's a little battery that you plug your GPS into, and it lets you power your GPS unit up separately without ever powering your quad up. And again, it helps it get lock faster. Okay? So those are some things. Those are some things to think about. Hey, Yuldor, good to see you again. Back after a long time. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, thank you, Narcoleptic LTD, for a massive $50 super chat. Feel like a real live streamer with a $50 super chat coming in. Is there a recommendation for telemetry ratio for specific packet rates? Narcoleptic, what you should do is use ExpressLRS 3.0. ExpressLRS 3.0 automatically tweaks the telemetry rate. You just set the telemetry rate to standard or racing, and it automatically tweaks the telemetry rate based on your packet rate. There is a recommendation. I don't know exactly how to calculate it. What I do is I just increase the ratio until I stop getting sensor lost warning. Okay? Hang on. Oh, okay. Sorry. So, that's what I would do. The new 333 megahertz. What's, Captain Bry, what's the deal with the new 333 megahertz? I don't know the answer. I've just started researching ExpressLRS 3.0 in anticipation of making content about it. Yes, I will be making content about it. But what's the deal with 333 hertz, Captain Bry? Isn't that one of the retransmission modes? J-Hoop, we want to do. Are you J-Hoop? Do we want a TRS or a TRRS? Yeah, we're talking about the full res. So, what we're talking about, ExpressLRS 3.0, release candidate 1. Let's see. Where's 333? There we go. So, one of the things it adds is full res channels, which means full resolution aux channels at either 100 hertz or 333 hertz. It doesn't have anything to do with stick resolution. Well, I guess, I mean, it's 10 bits. That is your stick resolution, I suppose. I guess you're right, Cat and Bry. The other modes have 12-bit resolution, right? Whereas full res only, quote unquote, only has 10-bit resolution. I got to check out this microphone. Did I order the wrong gosh darn microphone? Hold on. I still may have time to cancel my order. What did Bardwell do on his live stream? He shopped on Amazon while we all stood around and watched. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. It doesn't have a little right angle, but wow, that, oh, it's $26. That's interesting. What's this little sticky outy thing here? Does it come with that little right angle? Oh, that's interesting. Is that better? It's a 3-pole TRS. Do we know whether the Orca V2 is TRS? I shouldn't do this on live stream. I shouldn't do this on live stream. You guys don't. We shouldn't like just spend. Hang on. I should cancel that order though in case I bought the wrong thing. All right. Is that TRS or TRRS? That's TRRS. Oh, it might be the wrong thing. I'm going to cancel the order. See, that's what I get for rushing. Cancel items. Have I done it quickly enough? Order created by mistake. Livestream told me the wrong product. All right, I'll look into it. Oh, here's one that's only $20 and has a right angle. Oh, that's slick. That may be the winner right there. That is a nice microphone. Anyway. I wish they'd built it. I wish they'd built it in. Anyway. All right. Continuing on. Let's see. Captain Bryce says both of them have 10-bit resolution, but full resolution is compressed. All the others chop out the center to give more precision. Oh, Bry, I want to hear more about that. They're all 10-bit? What does chop out the center mean? And compressed. All right. Augie has a good question in the Discord. Augie, why is Augie's question not showing up? It's not picking up Discord. Hey, pick up Discord. Here we go. It's going to get you now. It's going to get you. There we go. Where's Augie? Augie says, about ExpressLRS, I know I should set the correct profiles in Betaflight for specific ExpressLRS packet rates like 250 or 500 hertz. The 900 megahertz version of ExpressLRS only supports up to a 200 hertz packet rate. There's not a single profile for 200 hertz in Betaflight, so what should I do? Should I apply the 250 or the 150 or just leave it at default? So here's the deal. If you apply a filter that isn't exactly matching the packet rate, then either you will be slightly over-filtered, which will mean you'll have a little more delay and a little more softness on the sticks, or you'll be slightly under-filtered, which means you'll have a little less delay and a little more jitter. So don't freak out about the fact that there's no 200 hertz packet rate. Pick a packet rate that's close and just go with it. If you pick 150 or 250, you'll be slightly off one direction or the other, so there you go. Captain Bryce says Crossfire will do more than 988 to 2012. Captain Bryce, is what you're saying that by going to 10-bit that you're getting wider channels, but then you compress them down to the standard 1000 to 2000 range? Mr. Death, ExpressLRS 3.0, I believe that they are dropping support for SPI receivers. My understanding, and again, Captain Bry, thank you for being here in the chat. Captain Bry is an ExpressLRS dev. I think he's a dev. If not a dev, he certainly is an expert. Captain Bry can confirm ExpressLRS 3.0 will not be supported by SPI receivers, and ExpressLRS is basically giving up on ExpressLRS receivers as a bad idea. And they will not be going past 2.0, and they will go away. And if you have one now, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Quad Duck, pretty sure Betaflight can have at least 2 MSP ports, maybe 3. Well, I'm out of water. 35 minutes into the stream and I'm out of water. Captain Bryce says, we'll work to get all the two. We got a question here from Carbon Cage FPV. New builds, Betaflight 4.3, Rush Stack, no voltage showing in the battery tab. What am I doing wrong? Carbon Cage, if you don't have any voltage in the power and battery in the battery tab, there's a couple of possibilities. One of the possibilities is that you've set, so here we are in the power and battery tab. One possibility, and I know you said you checked this, but I'm just going to call it out for the chat. One possibility is you have the wrong voltage source, okay? So usually, almost always onboard ADC is correct. If you have an ESC that is using ESC telemetry, then you could be using ESC sensor. That is mostly the case when you have a higher than 6S build. And so the flight controller cannot detect the voltage directly. It's not running from VBAT. But normally onboard ADC is going to be correct almost all the time. If that still doesn't work, then one possibility is that you have flashed the wrong target. And the resource mapping for the ADC pin is incorrect. Now, this is not likely, but if we type resource here, then resource... Hello, what are we doing? Where's the rest of it? What's going on here? Why would you not scroll the rest of the way? What's wrong here? Behave. Having a little problem with my serial connection. Nope. Why would you not scroll the rest of the way? That doesn't make any gosh darn sense. And where's the scroll bar anyway? Betaflight? You being screwy, Betaflight, and I don't like it. So right here, resource ADC bat 1. Resource ADC bat 1. That is the resource assignment that tells the flight controller where the VBAT pin is. Pretty sure that's right. So if you flash the wrong target, that resource assignment may be wrong, and then it wouldn't be able to read VBAT. The other so check that you flashed the correct target, and then the final check is it could just be broken. But if it works on 4.2, but it doesn't work on 4.3, that again points towards a resource assignment problem. So... Now, Carbon Cage says, I flashed what showed up on the scan. That's probably correct, but you should still double check, I guess. Tronus? I don't know. I'll do my best. Geyer, thank you for 50 Norwegian kroner, asks, do you think the Fat Shark Walk Snail system can be improved to DJI levels with firmware updates? Geyer, I released a video today testing the system, and they made, in my opinion, enormous strides. They made huge improvements in just a week. So obviously they didn't rewrite anything from scratch. They probably just turned some knobs and tweaked some parameters, and they got a massive increase in the performance of the system, in my opinion. Now, I do think it still has a way to go. The level of stuttering, of frame drops, is still at a level that I would be really annoyed if I was flying it on the daily. And it is at a level that DJI... Well, I mean, DJI does have some stuttering and frame drops, it's true, but it's at a much worse level than DJI. So, can it be improved to DJI levels? I mean, underneath the hood, we know that the hardware they're using, we're pretty sure that the hardware they're using is equivalent or better to what DJI has in the DJI FPV goggles. The system on a chip that's doing the heavy lifting for the H.265, I believe it is, modulation, or H.265 encoding, and the radio modulation, that stuff is all capable of performing at the same levels as the DJI V2. It is very similar hardware. So the question is just whether the engineers at Snail are going to be able to get the system at that level, and the manufacturing is able to get it to that level. So I think the potential is there, but obviously DJI sets a very high bar. DJI is very good. They have very good engineers, and so just because the hardware is similar in the Fat Shark Snail system doesn't mean that they will necessarily achieve at the same level as DJI. It means the potential is there, but the engineers will have to deliver, and DJI's engineers are excellent. So, why would they release it with all these minor bugs in the firmware, Cheech FPV? Very good question, Cheech FPV. Obviously, there are business reasons why you release at a certain time. They said they would release in June. They set that goal for themselves, and they met it. But they probably... they also said that they didn't want to miss the summer flying season. So there you go. Guy Nardine asks, any news about OpenTX for the TBS Mambo? No news. We need to hear from TBS on that, and TBS has other things that they're working on. TBS should be working on figuring out how they are going to make Crossfire and Tracer competitive against Express LRS. That is all that TBS should be thinking about right now, because TBS is I don't know. Let's think about this. I was about to say TBS is kind of in trouble right now, and I was like, whoa, that's too strong of a statement. Don't say that, Bardwell. But that was the thought that came into my head, and I'll tell you where that thought came from. TBS's number one product for a long time, and I don't know this, like, I haven't seen their books, but if you think about TBS, they've made a lot of products that didn't really go anywhere. And I feel like Crossfire and the Unify video transmitter carried their company for like 3 years or more. I feel like that's a fair statement. And right now, the shift from analog to DJI has been happening for 2+ years. The shift away from analog now includes HD0 and now includes Snail, and someday will include Orca, probably. So we hear. Analog is waning, and there's still a lot of analog pilots out there, but there's a lot of DJI pilots out there. I've heard people estimate numbers higher than 50% of FPV pilots flying DJI. And now Express LRS comes along, and a lot of the appeal of Crossfire and then Tracer, a lot of people who might have bought Crossfire or Tracer are using Express LRS. And what's that leave? What's that leave? What does that leave? Well, let's see. Crossfire? TBS Unify Pro Nano? Unify Pro? Crossfire? Unify Pro? Unify Pro? Oh, the Triumph! Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good antenna. What does that leave? The Tango? Solid. Tango's solid. Crossfire inside. Mambo? Tracer inside. Yeah. What does that leave? It leaves Mr. Steele. It leaves ethics. Oh, wow. They got other stuff, but just look at their own website to see how much Crossfire is really carrying them. TBS Source 1, that's solid. TBS Oblivion? No. So, I think Crossfire has to be thinking, and by the way, I'm confident that a smart businessman like Trappy already knows this and saw this coming. Because think about what happened when Immersion RC Ghost was released. When Ghost was released, TBS had already been working on Tracer for a long time, and they weren't quite ready to put it out yet. Ghost jumped the gun on them just a little bit. But it's not like they didn't see the potential for 2.4 gigahertz and high frame rates. So they already know that this is happening. They saw this coming, and whatever their next move is, they're already working on it. And we don't know what that move's going to be. But they better get on it. They better get on it. They better get on it. Because the days where Crossfire was everybody's, like, if you wanted a good control link, you got Crossfire. Those days are gone. Crossfire is still a very good control link. But the days when it was you were poor and you got Free Sky, or you had the money to go Crossfire and you were a king, those days are gone. There's too many other good choices. And the days where if you wanted a good video transmitter, you bought a Unify are also gone. Unify is still a very good video transmitter, one of the best. But there are other video transmitters that are also very good from other manufacturers, like Rush, for example. And analog is on its way out, slowly but surely. So it's going to be very interesting. One FPV, I did not failsafe Crossfire before Snail lost video. I failsafed the DJI controller. I was not using Crossfire in that test. All right. Braden Beerscheid. Prices for everything have gone up. Everything is twice as expensive as it was 2 years ago. Yeah, 661 FPV. In the parking garage test, my DJI quad was using the DJI controller and it failsafed. My Snail quad was using Express LRS EP2 receiver at 1 watt transmit power at 50 hertz, and it did not failsafe. Philly Style FPV, thank you for a $2 super chat. Should I update Happy Model Express LRS TX using Mobula 7 Express LRS? Should I update Happy Model Express LRS TX? I'm using the Mob 7 Express LRS. You should not, if you have an SPI-based receiver in your Tiny Whoop, you should not rush to go to Express LRS 3.0, in my opinion. Bubby, if you fail-safed Crossfire, and if you were at 500 milliwatts and 50 hertz, and you fail-safed Crossfire at less than, 50 kilometers, then it was a terrain issue. It wasn't a Crossfire issue. I don't know exactly why Crossfire would fail-safe before losing link with Avatar, but there's got to be a discrepancy there. There's no world where a 1 watt 5 gigahertz video system can possibly outrange a 900 megahertz control link LoRa system. It's an anomaly of some kind. I mean, so it happened. Aber the Ham asks, is it that SPI receivers won't have the 3.0 features or they won't work at all? Aber, my understanding is ExpressLRS is cross-compatible within a single major version. So a 2.1 can bind to a 2.5 or a 2.6 or a 2.3. But once ExpressLRS goes to 3.0, backwards compatibility to 2.x is broken. ExpressLRS SPI receivers will only get 2.0 support. They will not get 3.0 support. So my understanding is that when you update your module to ExpressLRS 3.0, you will no longer be able to bind it to any ExpressLRS SPI receiver, at least with Betaflight. I gotta say, I have to stick up for Bubby here a little bit. Hang on. Where is that video? Yeah, this is the one. This is one of the first Rotor Riot videos I was ever in. Hey, here's young JB and young Ladrib. And we flew a whole bunch of different quads and we intentionally didn't call it a range test because it was a garbage range test. We found a long straight road and we flew the quads as far as we could. And we did it with Spectrum, we did it with Crossfire and Radio Link. We did it with a Mavic Air, and then we had a little joke. We had the Airhogs Little Tykes and we flew it. And Crossfire fail-safed at about the same range as, I don't remember the exact result. Crossfire didn't go very far. And the reality was that what we tried to show in that video was that you can't just say, Crossfire can go for miles! That if you're flying 6 feet below the above the deck, you know, if terrain gets in the way, you will fail-safe it, right? And that under certain conditions, Crossfire might not give you much better range than anything else. But we got a lot of heat for that from Crossfire fans who said this misrepresents the capabilities of the system. And I was like, you know, we're just doing a dumb little... I don't think we expected people to take it as serious. I say we. I mean, I don't mean to speak for anybody other than myself. I don't think I expected people to take it as seriously as they did when we were planning the video. Chad Capper showed up with this radio link and it says it can go for however many kilometers. And we were like, okay, let's try it. Let's see if it goes for kilometers. But we couldn't just put it up in the air and fly for miles in the air. We weren't set up to do that. But that was a case where we presented a result of, I don't even want to call it a test. We presented a result that showed that the system fail-safed at a much shorter range than people expected, and we got a lot of heat for it. But if you're going to actually call it a range test, then that's different. That's different. Eirik Toft says, is the lack of SPI support in 3.0 a result of the limitations of SPI or just lack of folks to do the development? Eirik, I think the take is that it's too much of a hassle to keep Betaflight updated with new versions of ExpressLRS, that ExpressLRS is going to release 6 different dot releases in the time it takes Betaflight to, you know, release one dot release, and it's just not worth trying to keep up and keep it integrated. Because every time you integrate a new version of ExpressLRS into the SPI Betaflight code, you have to build a whole new version of Betaflight, and it's just too much of a hassle. Eirik, I am confident that someone could put ExpressLRS 3.0 into a Betaflight target. but someone would have to do that. Maybe someone will. I just think the ExpressLRS devs don't want to be responsible for it anymore because it's too much of a hassle and too much potential for things to go wrong. Let's see here. Carbon Cage, thanks for $8 Australian. Thanks, JB. You're a bloody legend. Bloody. That sounded almost. That wasn't right at all. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it today. Today's not the day. Legend. 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 Bloody legend. There we go. Arclamp, thank you for $5 Australian. I have a hypothesis about the bitrate mismatch in your new video. I have a hypothesis in stream chat on Discord. Arclamp. Okay, let's see about finding Arclamp. Arclamp, where are you, friend? Let's see. His hypothesis is, what if the goggles show actual link speed and the subtitle track is showing video bitrate? They should show the same thing, man. That's the bottom line. They should show the same thing. I don't understand why they wouldn't show the same thing. I mean, you're speculating about why they might be different, and we ultimately just have to ask them to tell us why the bitrate didn't match. Philly Style, we got you. We're caught up on Super Chats. Yay! Okay. Let's see here. Mike Bergman, I made him a moderator because YouTube told me that he was my most active live stream commenter, and I thought, okay, that's good enough. Terminal Insanity asks, will you ever trust the bitrate that Snail shows you? Exactly. So far, I found that the latency that they were showing was higher than reality. Lower than reality, sorry, the other way. The way that's good for them. I found that when they were showing 21 milliseconds, I measured 25. And when they were showing 35, I measured, like, I don't remember. I measured in 720p mode, I measured 1 frame higher than they were showing. And in 1080p mode, I measured 2 or 3 frames higher than they were showing. And they came back and said, oh, thank you, that was a bug. We'll fix that. Well, I can't help but notice that the bug was very complimentary to you and made it look like you had much lower latency than you really did. So, okay, you know. And now we've got a case where the bitrate is not correct. Ah, flippin' heck. I know. There we go. Can't have my backlight going out. Now we have a case where the bitrate's not correct. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. It's new, though. They're working on it. They're doing a good job for all of the shenanigans and questions and, you know, all this. At the end of the day, they've put out a way better product than anybody. I bet I could have made a lot of money betting everybody if I had known the system was going to be as good as it is today. Because I bet if you had said, this product that we have right now from Fat Shark and Snail, do you think they will succeed at this level? If I had told you a year ago, hey, Fat Shark's going to release a new HD goggle and it's going to be like this, I'll bet you that you would have taken the money and you wouldn't have believed me. So, they're doing real good. They're doing real good. Anyway. David Price, Fat Shark and Walk Snail do not have any 1S option for 65mm whoops. HD0 is still the king for small quads, HD video small quads. A bootloader rewrite could decouple the Betaflight and ExpressLRS releases. That's interesting. I mean, RCG, would it be possible to decouple them so you could flash ExpressLRS to memory in a way that doesn't require you to reflash Betaflight? That's interesting. That interface would be interesting to think about. AVHSA says, my biggest gripe with ExpressLRS was not having higher resolution aux channels, and that is fixed now. Yep, a lot of improvements to the aux channels and to servo outputs. Exciting. I think the big appeal of HD0 in terms of its performance has to be the consistency. Like, all of this nonsense with it gets blurry and so forth. HD0, you're going to get sparkles, but at the end of the day, the image quality just is what it is no matter how far away you are. The resolution is what it is no matter how far away you are. Eventually, you get enough sparkles you can't see where you're going, but HD0, I think, has some appeal, for sure. Let's see here. Let's see, what else we got? What else we got? Do I still go to races these days? Sheesh FPV. I haven't done any racing this season, Sheesh. I've been just busy with other things. I did more racing last season and committed a little bit. But no. Nope. Just had other things going on, and it just hasn't been a priority. I keep getting invited to go out and fly the GQ track, which is set up not too far from my house. And I really should do that at some point just for a fun weekend. But no. Not really. There's so many things I would like to be into, and at the end, like, I would love to be spending more time doing, like, cinematic Cinewhoop stuff, chasing vehicles. I'd love to be doing more racing, more tiny whoops, and it's just, at the end of the day, the number one thing I do is I make videos, and there just isn't as much time to do all the other potential things that I could be doing. It is what it is. Quit my job and just go fly for a while. Let's see here. We got a comment here from Abhishek. Says, I'm in the market for an ExpressLRS module for the TX16S Mark I Max with internal ELRS. Is the internal 250 milliwatt any good? Avishek, the internal 250 milliwatt is good, especially if you are using an EP1 receiver with external antenna, and especially if you are using lower packet rate, like 50 hertz or 100 hertz. If you want to use the EP2 receiver, and if you also want to use 250 hertz or 500 hertz or even 1,000 hertz, at that point, you want the higher output power. Like I often use the EP2 receiver, just out of sheer laziness, and I often do that. And if I'm running at 250 hertz with an EP2 receiver, depending on how it's mounted in the quad, I may see some LQ drops at some points when I'm just flying around. And so at that point, I can either drop down to 50 hertz or I can crank the output power. And if I was flying a 250 milliwatt module, I wouldn't have the option to crank the output power. So my sort of standard ExpressLRS setup is 1 watt output power, 50 hertz, EP2 receiver. If I know I'm going to be, and that's the lazy setup. If I actually was building a quad that I was serious about getting good performance out of, I wouldn't use the EP2 receiver. I would use an EP1 and I'd mount the antenna externally. But if I'm just going to like do a quick review and I just need to put a receiver in it, bam, EP2 receiver. Just stick it in there and go. I would like the option to go to a 1 watt on a Radio Master. But they didn't think they could do it without, while managing the thermal dissipation. So. The Toolkit RC MC8. What's the MC8? Oh, the MC8, that may have a USB PD output, but what's the wattage? It can't be very high wattage. I mean, it may power up the soldering iron, but I mean, just from its size, it can't be. Can it even be 45 watts? Uh, 20 watts. So the problem with using that is the 20 watt output is not very much. That's not very good. That's not really going to do a great job running a soldering iron. Yeah. AVHSA, I mean, I respect Radio Master for saying we're not going to advertise 1 watt and then just have the module overheat and shut down. I respect Radio Master because they're taking a hit. Jumper will do 1 watt and doesn't seem to have thermal problems as far as I can tell. So the fact that Radio Master didn't do 1 watt because they didn't think they could get good performance out of it means they were willing to take a hit in the market. They were not willing to just lie in their marketing and deliver a product that wasn't going to work well for their customers. And that, I mean, is hugely complimentary to them. I hope. The problem is that in order to get that 1 watt, they would need to redesign the external shell of the radio. And that's one of the things they didn't want to take the time to do and delay the release of the product. Who knows what you could mod in, like a fan in the JR bay or something, to get that up to 1 watt. I'm sure that they could firmware update and allow 1 watt output if they thought it wasn't going to overheat. But at the end of the day, if you really need 1 watt, today you're looking at an external module. Drone Droid. I do know the charger. Is it the Q6? No. It's the Hoda S6. That's it. The charger that we were talking about was the Hoda S6, I believe. The Hoda S6 has a 400 watt built-in power supply, and it can just crank. I got a Hero Psycho in my Discord. Hold on, I'll show you. Hero Psycho in my Discord is massively a fan of this thing. He keeps chatting me. He keeps chatting me and telling me I need to review this charger. Look at this. Look how much of a fan he is. He's like, you need to review this charger. This is it's doing 14 amps on the internal power supply. And he says, all these features. Oh, man, yeah, look at this. This is insane. I'm doing 8 amps on this channel and 9 amps on this channel. I could do this, I could do that. He's like, this charger's amazing. The Hoda S6. If you don't have a big external power supply, the Hoda S6 is one of the most powerful and compact chargers with a built-in power supply. Anyway, thank you, Hero Psycho, for passing that on to me. Is there any additional latency when using an external module compared to an internal module? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Folks, we have come to the middle of the live stream. The middle of the live stream. We're actually a little bit past the middle of the live stream. Wait a minute. Wow. I just realized I didn't. Wow. I'm not sure how that happened. I've had Dropbox running in the background this whole time, and my live stream has not taken a shit. So, cool. Good for you. Let me just turn that off real quick. We've come to the middle of the live stream, and that is the time when I do a ad integration. But I'm not going to try and sell you headphones or meal kit delivery boxes. No, none of that. None of that. I want to sell you me. I want to sell you me. I want to tell you that I want your support on patreon.com. If you value the content that I make, and if you're having a good time, then I would love to have you sign up on patreon.com for as little as $2 a month or more if you feel like I've earned it. Completely up to you is the amount. Many of the people here are already patrons, and that's why they have access to the Discord server. The Discord server where they can chat and ask questions. Look at all the things they're talking about. Look at all the things. These are some of the smartest, most helpful people in all of FPV. But mostly you just get to feel good that you're supporting somebody who makes your life better. That's what I want. And if you don't feel that way, if you're like, what do you mean, Bardwell? You don't make my life better. Bardwell's got a big head. He thinks he makes my life better. Do you think you don't do that much for me? Hey, if you feel that way, don't join my Patreon. Don't do it. But if you're like, hey, you know what? He's right. I've been watching his content for a long time. It's time I signed up. I feel like NPR now. Doing a pledge drive. There's a link down below. I'd love to have you sign up. The other thing I want to show you, in case you need a little reminder, is that my website, fpvknowitall.com, is where you can find all my product recommendations in various categories. And all of these links, you're looking for a camera, you're looking for a frame, you're looking for motors, all of these links are affiliate links. So it's a great way to help support me. You can just go to support me, and you can go down to the list. These are the stores that I have affiliates with. And so by using these links, you support me. I get a commission every time you buy something after clicking one of these links. And it's a really easy way for you to support me as well. Thank you to those stores, and thank you to you. That's it. That's the plug. I do one plug per stream. As a FPV and RC asks, hey, if I use flux every time, can I just keep using the same solder over and over? Yeah, I think so. If you have solder that the flux has burned out of, you just put a little more flux on top and it's good as new. That's my experience anyway. Have I spelled Ethereum wrong? Oh, wow. I have. Well, it'll be okay. Probably not the end of the world. Oh. Let's see here. What do we got? Berber wants to know. I figured out how to fly on a sim. Should I buy a 5-inch or spend more time on the sim? I mean, if you feel like you're confident flying in the sim, time to get a 5-inch. Be safe. Fly somewhere safe. Don't fly around people. Don't fly indoors. Start in a big open environment like a soccer field or somewhere in a park. But yeah, if you're confident in a sim, you could probably go to a 5-inch. Just be careful about like your props. Don't like be plugging in your quad and then like looking at it in your face, and that's the one difference with the sim is that the real quad can bite you. But as far as flying goes, if you're confident in the sim, you'll be all right with a 5-inch in real life. The Ace of Spades wants to know. I have a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank used for charging electronics and starting cars. Would it be safe to use an XT60 to car accessory plug adapter to use with my Toolkit RC charger? Probably. So if you can start a car, if it's a jump starter power bank, then probably it's outputting 12 volts or thereabouts, which is a high enough voltage to run the Toolkit RC. The other question is how many amps or watts it can provide. And it may not be able to provide very many. Although if it's a jump starter, maybe it provides a lot. So probably you can do it. The only thing I would point out is that 20,000 milliamp hours. So let's do a little math here. When you have a 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank, okay, so that's divide by 1,000, that's 20 amp hours. But that is probably 1S voltage. So we need to convert to watt hours by multiplying by 3.7 volts. And then it's 1S, so we just multiply by 3.7 one times. So that is 74 watt hours in your battery bank. And the reason that's important is because when you are comparing batteries of different voltage, you can't compare the milliamp hours, you have to compare the watt hours, and that's how you do that conversion. So for comparison, a typical like 5-inch freestyle or racing pack is about 22 watt hours. So if that battery bank has 74 watt hours, that is about, so well, I can do the math, 74 divided by 22 is 3.3. So you will charge 2 or 3 batteries in real life off that power bank. And I think a lot of people would look at that and go, 20,000 milliamp hours. Well, my battery is only 1,300 milliamp hours. So 20,000 divided by 13,000, 20 divided by 1.3, I should be able to charge 15 batteries. And that's not how it works because the voltage isn't the same. You have a 1,000 milliamp hour 6S at 25 volts, and you have a 20,000 milliamp hour 1S at 4.2 volts. Now, if I'm wrong about that assumption, like if that battery bank is actually 20,000 milliamp hours at 3S voltage, then the math changes. Wesley Vardy asks, why 1S? Wouldn't it be more like 3S? Yeah, so Wesley, that's the question. Most of the time, if you look on like Amazon and you see a 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank, it's 1S. And the reason it's 1S is that they're just charging USB, and then they have a little step-up regulator maybe to give you 9 volts. But usually it's 1S because that makes the number bigger and it's simpler. If they're trying to jumpstart a car, then it's probably 3S. Because it wouldn't make sense to have a step-up regulator that could carry the voltage, or the current that would be required to jumpstart a car. So it's probably 3S. So triple that number. It's not that they lie. Gaptooth Granny says the power banks are usually 20,000 milliamp hours at 1S with a step-up converter. Yes, that's what I was getting at. But as I think about it, in order to jumpstart a car, it requires a lot of current. And it wouldn't make sense to build one of those with a voltage regulator that could handle, a step-up regulator that could handle all that current. It would make more sense to just build a 3S. So, like, if we're looking at a USB power bank, all of these are 1S. 3880 milliamp hours, 10,000 milliamp hours, 36,800 milliamp hours. That's all 1S, right? But if we look for a jump starter power bank, so this is 1,200 amps peak, 12 volts. This is a 3S. But where is the, here we go. So 20,000 milliamp hours, 2,000 amps. I gotta tell you, I still think they're lying. I think this 20,000 milliamp hours is the 1S USB equivalent, and that it's outputting 3S to the alligator clips But the 20,000 milliamp hours, I'll bet, is a 1S USB equivalent. That's what you will get if you're using it for USB charging. That's my theory. Yeah. I don't think it's 20,000 milliamp hours at 3S. I'd be surprised. Just based on the size of it, I'd be a little surprised about that. So like 20,000 milliamp hours, it could be 9. That could be about 9 18650 cells or something. Anyway. There you go. Because they know you're going to be cross-shopping this against other 1S power banks. Okay. Narcoleptic LTD, thank you for another $5 super chat. JB's Patreon is cheaper than super chat questions. Be efficient. Hey, can I write this off as a business expense? That depends on what your business is, man. Anthony Greco, thanks for a $5 super chat. Any idea how to connect SpeedyBee app via Bluetooth to the Roma F5 V2? The F722FC has Bluetooth. Maybe it needs enabling or some such. I'm pretty sure you just plug it in, man. So, oh, come here. Get it. There it is. Is this, did I put KISS on this? Is this not the this is not the diatone flight controller. Oh, well. Dang. Wait a minute. Ah! This is the diatone flight controller from the diatone Roma that I put the KISS flight controller in. Ah! We could do this test. Sorry, diatone Roma, you were about to be on stream. So I can't show you this because I don't have my overhead camera working, but like we're just going to try this real quick. SpeedyBee, here I'm starting the SpeedyBee app. You have to take my word for it. And I'm going to take this flight controller and I'm going to plug it in. And then I'm going to hit, I don't think Wi-Fi works. I think I have to hit Bluetooth. So I'm going to hit Bluetooth. Not getting anything. Okay. Let me try Wi-Fi. Connect to the Wi-Fi of the device. Go to connect. So for Wi-Fi, you have to manually connect to the Wi-Fi of the... Yeah, and I see in my Wi-Fi network, Mamba Stack 50F6. You can't read it because it's not in focus, but Mamba Stack 50F6. So once I connect to that, then I can connect with the SpeedyBee. So I just see that in my Wi-Fi networks when I power up. That's an iFlight flight controller, not a Mamba. June Loco. I'm literally looking at it right now. I'm literally looking at it. Why do you think you know better than me what it is? It's absolutely a diatone flight controller. It's a Mamba, I promise you. If you didn't believe me, the fact that the Wi-Fi says Mamba Stack really gives it away. Now, it just went away. I think it only shows up for a short time. Like, why did it go away just now? It may not stay on forever. The other thing is that you need the correct UART. That is correct as a FPV and RC. You do need the correct UART. So here, if we look at the ports, I think I've wiped this config, though. I'm pretty sure I've wiped this config previously. Oh, I got it on UART 4. Let's see if it works. Let's just see if it works. Mamba Stack, Wi-Fi connected. Going over to... Hello, SpeedyBee, where are you? Internet may not be available. Connect only this time. Yeah. No kidding. Hello, SpeedyBee. There you are. Initializing. Yeah, it worked. So it's UART 4. You need MSP enabled on UART 4. And here it is. It's working. You can see right here. You can see right here. It's totally working over Wi-Fi. Yeah. So just manually connect to the Wi-Fi network. And then... in SpeedyB, just connect. Bada bing, bada boom. That's how it should work. So Anthony Greco, do you not see the Mamba Stack Wi-Fi when you plug in? Like, I don't know why you wouldn't see that. I don't know why you wouldn't see that. My UART 4 was set to MSP, not Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth. QuadDoc confirms I have MSP on UART 4 set to 19200. Let me check the baud rate. Just real quick, check the baud rate. So I have it set to 115,200 and it's working, and I don't know why this is set. That's not right. That shouldn't be. Why is that set to black box logging? That doesn't make any sense. This is all messed up. This is messed up. UART 4, save and reboot. Let's try that. And why was it... Okay, let me disable that. Why won't it let me change my GPS baud rate either? I don't know. Anyway. There you go, though. UART 4, this is all you need right here to get the Wi-Fi working. It should be. Oh, now could you... can you have MSP on both Wi-Fi and USB at the same time? I don't know. Let's find out. So here we plug in USB and we connect. Hello. Can you do Wi-Fi and USB? Can you do both MSPs? Now I'm connecting to Wi-Fi. Connecting to Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi is connecting. Connect. Connected. Is it going to work? It's initializing. It's trying. Wi-Fi is disconnected. No, it isn't. Is it, though? Connected without internet, unsecured. Okay. Connect. Okay. Connected. Yeah, connect. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's working. It's working. You can have two. Look, it's working on both of them. You can have two MSP connections active at the same time. I have confirmed it right now. Both USB and Wi-Fi. That's kind of cool. I don't know if there's any actual use case for that, but there you go. See, that's why you sign up. That's why you sign up. Did I already have it? I didn't have it actually connected, did I? Oh, KY Savage, thank you for a $10 super chat. So, Anthony Greco, to sum up your question, I don't think you should have to do anything special to get that working. I think it should just immediately work. Remy Tim, I agree. DJI is constantly connected to MSP at the same time that you're plugged in. So if you've ever used an HD0 or a DJI video transmitter, you already knew that you could have two MSP connections at the same time. I hear fireworks outside. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. The 4th of July is definitely the founding of our country. The signing of the Constitution? The Declaration of Independence? It's called Independence Day. It's probably the Declaration of Independence. Okay. Let's see here. What do you think about the new simulator named Trip FPV Simulator? People have been telling me about this. Should we try this out? Save 20% on Trip FPV Simulator. Early access. Everything is early access. They actually, I think they sent me a code for this, but I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. Oh, all right, fine. I'll start the actual Steam app. I guess I was going to need to do that anyway. Steam, where are you? Ah! Store. Trip FPV Drone Simulator. It's a business expense, Jerry! I can buy all the games I want! All I have to do is play it on stream one time, and it's a business expense! Oh, hang on. I gotta do my payment details. What's the security code? I'm not going to show you the security code for my Visa. Can I just use PayPal? PayPal. Hang on. Let me finish buying this. Try not to put my purchase information on screen more than a few times. I have done that occasionally by accident. PayPal, copy password. Password, login. Sorry, this is we're going to try this simulator out. Charge to Visa, PayPal. I agree to the terms of the Steam subscriber agreement. Install content. Let's see how long it takes to install. Disk space required, 13 gig. That's going to be a minute to install. It shouldn't mess up my stream because it's a download. And we get to see how fast my internet is. 9.5 megabytes per second is pretty good. That's all right. How long will it take to finish downloading? Trip FPV, downloading 2%, 22 minutes, 21 minutes remaining. Okay, that's going to take us right up to the end of the stream. So we'll come back and we'll check on that. But let's just look at this product page in the meantime. Oh, Ghost Branch FPV played Trip FPV for the first time. Well, this is a drone simulator, but the sort of selling point is that it lets you chase vehicles, chase skydivers, fly on mountains, chase birds. Sure. Activable scenarios. Chase a... Oh, yeah. See, look at this shit. That's kind of cool. That's pretty freaking cool. That's a clever idea for a simulator. I don't know anybody who has put this much effort into making a chasing simulator like this. That's pretty badass, actually. I haven't actually watched this trailer before. We'll have to see how the, you know, how the physics and so forth are. Anyway, that's going to download. Oh, I can't wait till I get fiber. Did I tell you guys fiber is supposed to come to my my neighborhood in the next... They're starting in the next couple months, but it will be maybe 2 or 3 years before I can get it. But I can't wait to get fiber. Okay. Oh, anyway. Oh, I can't wait. All right, what are we going to talk about while we wait for the downloading? EDJW can't choose between the Synolog 3035 or the ProTech. I would put the Synolog over the ProTech, and so would Aaron Ciotti, if that matters to you. The 3.0 versus the 3.5, it's just a question of if you want to carry a full-size GoPro, the 3.5 is going to be a little bit better. Anthony Greco, got it! The Android was disconnecting from the Wi-Fi before the connection could be made. Nice. I'm glad you got it, man. I hope that helped a little bit. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. We help people. Reckon 7 Pro or Chimera 7 Pro? That's a tough one. Chat, let's put that to the chat. Let's put that to the chat. Which is a better 7-inch? I'm creating a poll. You guys have to answer in the poll. Answer the poll. We'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that when they start doing the rollout, I can bribe somebody to get put early on the list. I don't know how much I'm going to have to bribe somebody, but... Who makes the Reckon? Well, HDLRC makes the Reckon, but the Reckon line is made, I think, in partnership with, Flip. I'm blanking on his name. It's been so long since I thought of it. Who's the guy who does the Reckon? The Reckon 4. Dave C., thank you. Dave C. works with HDLRC to do the Reckon line, so I think that the Reckon line is a little bit better quality than some other HDLRC stuff that you might be a little hesitant about. 17 minutes remaining. Yeah, it's going to be a while for that download. We may have to look at it another time. Yeah, the symmetrical speed is going to be one of the main things I like. I could get a gig down right now on cable, but it would be like a gig down with 25 up, and I'm like, that's just insulting. Like, literally, Comcast sent me this message, and they were like, do you want gigabit internet? You can have it. And I was like, well, shit. Okay, sign me up, Comcast. How many kidneys do you want? And so I chatted with the sales rep, and I was like, so you got an offer for gigabit? And he was like, that's right, sir. Yes, we do. And I was like, let me ask you something. What's the upload speed on that? And he said, like, I don't remember if it was the exact number, but it was pathetically small. He says 25 megs up. And I'm like, are you really selling gig down 25 up? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, no, I know. I'm like, I'm like, no, that's stupid. Who needs a gig down and can tolerate 25 up? So I was like, no, we're not going to do that. So then I called in, and I was like, because I have business internet, because, I have a business at my home, and Comcast consumer internet is notably shitty. So I was like, maybe if I upgrade to business internet, Comcast will get less shitty. And it did. Comcast business internet has been pretty reliable for me, and I've been pretty happy with the customer service. So I reached out to them, and I said, hey, just hypothetically, how much money would you want to bring actual gigabit internet to my house? Gig down, gig up. Because they do fiber. Comcast does fiber. And he said, I don't remember the number. But the kicker was, it was like $500 a month. And I was like, look, okay, you're going to spend $10,000 pulling fiber to my house, and you need to make that back. I understand that. How long do I have to stay at $500 a month before I go down because you've paid off your capital investment running fiber to my house? And I was like, no. It's just $500, $600 a month forever. And I was like, that's insulting. I didn't say that. Because, over in Chattanooga, they have fiber to the they have community internet over in Chattanooga, and it's like $50 a month for gigabit fiber. I'm like, forget it. So I'm happy with Comcast, but as soon as I have another option that's faster, I will be switching. Anyway. Monday Night Mayhem. Ciati FPV is here. Nice to see you, Ciati. It's so hard to decide between the 3.5 and the 3.0. The 3.5 is really nice if you carry a full-size GoPro, especially a GoPro 10, which is heavier. The 3.0 is nicer for indoors. The 3.5 is nicer for outdoors and with a bigger camera. Ramon Lara says, Starlink. Get Starlink. I'm not getting Starlink. Starlink is a pipe dream. Starlink is completely unsustainable. Okay? The Elon Musk fans are not going to like to hear me say that. The Starlink doesn't scale. Starlink is unscalable. It cannot scale. Starlink will work okay until they get a certain critical mass of users, and then they will not have enough satellite bandwidth to provide good service, and they will not be able to launch enough satellites to keep their satellites, keep their constellation going. If you do the math on Starlink, if you take the number of satellites that they need to have in orbit to support the user base that they say they're going to get, and if you take the cost of the launches and the cost of the satellites and the number of users they would need to pay to launch satellites, and because the satellites go out of service, they lose a certain number of satellites a year. I don't remember the exact percent. The numbers don't work for Starlink. That's the bottom line. This is not a Starlink. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I didn't prepare for this conversation. But I've looked into Starlink, and Starlink is okay right now while they are subsidizing it and while almost nobody is using it. But the problem is that they have to put these constellations in the air, and as the user base grows, they will have to increase prices, and they'll have to launch a lot more satellites. And so you're going to end up with all these low Earth satellites creating space garbage, and like the number of satellites they would need would be like twice as many satellites as there currently are in orbit. Again, please, Elon Musk fans, don't cross-check my numbers. I haven't really prepared for this rant. But like half, it's just ridiculous. I'm not doing Starlink. Starlink is a mistake. That doesn't mean that Elon won't do it. Starlink is a bad idea. The best case for Starlink is that Starlink runs out of steam, doesn't have enough money to succeed, and dies on the vine. It is unsuccessful at delivering what it promises in the long term, and will cause massive collateral damage by putting additional satellites, by wasting resources launching satellites that will not be able to deliver on what they say they're going to do, and by putting just gobloads of garbage into space that isn't worth it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But, what do I know? Stick to FPV, Bardwell. Stop talking about other things. I only say that because every time I talk about my internet service, people say, hey, you should get Starlink. And even if Starlink was capable of delivering what I need in this moment, I wouldn't go Starlink because I don't think it's a good idea. There are people for whom Starlink provides, like if you live in the boonies and that's the only way you can get good internet, absolutely. I see why you would choose it. It's not going to last, or your price is going to go way up. But I see why you would choose it. But it's not for me. Tertizi repeats Elon's claim that Starlink sats are placed in an orbit that means orbital decay brings them down in a few years and solves the space debris issue. Tertizi, again, I'm not prepared to fully defend this position, so take this with as much disbelief as you prefer, but that claim is not universally agreed to be true. That claim is not universally agreed to be true. That's what Elon says, and that's the official line. But there are other people who say that is not as true as Elon wants it to be. And let's face it, Elon definitely knocks it out of the park some of the time. Absolutely. But Elon also says many things about his products that turn out not to be 100% true. So. BW, thank you for a $5 super chat. Let's get back on track. I'm flying Ghost, and when I try to perch on metal, it seems my Ghost loses connection in the red light on the receiver. What would you check? The red light just means you're fail-safing, right? Does the red light mean you're fail-safed? Or does it mean... A blinking red light, I think, is an error code. I think you'd have to reach out to... I think you may have a defective receiver. Can you try replacing the receiver? Jeremy Sarge says, I tend to believe a guy that can launch and recover rockets. So, Jeremy, this is a common... I don't know if there's a name for this logical error, but just because someone is successful at one thing doesn't mean that they are also right and successful about other things. So the fact that SpaceX can successfully launch and recover rockets means that they are good at launching and recovering rockets. It doesn't necessarily mean they are good at satellite internet. It doesn't mean they're good at making cars. The fact that Tesla is making cars means they're good at making cars. But more fundamentally, it doesn't mean that every claim that the CEO makes about his product is 100% true and beyond reproach. That's actually what's happening here. That a CEO is motivated to sell his product and make his company look as good as possible. And so oftentimes they say things that are, shall we say, optimistic. Why would you believe a billionaire who has billions of dollars on the line and wants your money when he says, don't worry, there's no environmental cost to my product and my company. Everything will be fine. Why would you believe him about that? Why wouldn't you believe an independent third party who is also, like, if you're saying Elon's engineers crunched the math about orbital decay and here's the numbers they came up with, like, probably they got the math right. But why are you inclined to believe a CEO who wants your money and is promising you there won't be any environmental impact from his company instead of an independent third party who says, well, actually, we got some questions here? Why would you believe him? Companies all the time lie about the environmental impacts of their products and their manufacturing and their behavior. They do that all the time. The default position when a company who wants your money and wants the rights from the government to do things with common, like space is a common resource that we all should benefit from. So when a private company says, hey, I'm going to put a bunch of shit up in space, don't worry, there won't be any environmental impact, everything's fine. The default position should be not to believe them and to check their claims. The default position should be not be like, don't worry, I'm sure this time the billionaire won't screw us all over with lead in the drinking water and, all other, methane in the burning water coming out of the taps, etc., etc., etc. So. BeepTube, I'm also a fan of Common Sense Skeptic. So anyway, just saying. Big Lip Monkey, when did I mention Republicans? Why are you making this political? Is this all about drones or just shit-talking Republicans? I haven't mentioned a single politician. I haven't mentioned a single political side. I haven't said vote for so-and-so or so-and-so sucks. We're talking about Elon Musk. We're talking about capitalism. We're talking about billionaires. We're talking about business. We're talking about space and orbital mechanics. Why are you bringing politics into it? Why are you bringing politics into it? Nobody here is talking about Republicans. I don't know why you got to be like that. Anyway. Oh, have I finished my download yet? Looks like we have 5 minutes remaining on the download. Unfortunately, we will not get a chance to play the Trip FPV simulator because my internet's not fast enough. If only I had Starlink, if only Elon Musk had designed my internet, this would all be different. But there you go. Maybe we'll do it another time. But I have purchased it now, and we'll be trying it out, I guess. It looks pretty cool. Oh, man. What's my frame choice between the Apex DC or the GEPRC Mark V? Raphael Magosi, it's hard to argue against the Apex. The Apex is such a universally good frame. I like the GEPRC Mark V. I would like to know more about its resonance characteristics, though. The Apex DC is a safe choice. I probably would pick it. Robin Visser, I didn't even know who Amber Heard was before the trial. I literally had never heard of the woman. So, I had heard of Johnny Depp. I mean. Oh, Big Lip Monkey's got his feelings hurt. Are you okay, man? Do you need to go to your safe space? I'm saying critical things about Elon Musk. Wow, he must be so sad right now. Because little old me has critical things to say about his business. Elon Musk doesn't need you to stick up for him, Big Lip Monkey. He's doing just fine. He doesn't even know you exist, man. Why are you sticking up for him? Anyway, it still doesn't matter. I'm not picking on him for his political positions. I'm criticizing his technical and business choices. So again, it has nothing to do with politics. Has nothing to do with politics. If I like the Apex, how come I never used it as one of my perfect freestyle builds? Well, because Mr. Steele uses it, and it's already his perfect frame, and it would be kind of cheesy for me to just say, you know what the best frame is? It's Mr. Steele's frame. I wanted a frame that I could tailor and mold to my own preferences, and the QAV-S was that. The Apex is, like, just because it's not my preferred frame doesn't mean it's not a good frame, though. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting, the subtext there, though? The subtext, and now we're just coming to the end of the stream. We just talk about whatever, I guess. Isn't the subtext interesting? If you criticize a prominent billionaire's business, you're criticizing Republicans. What could that mean? What could that mean? Ciati thinks the arms are too strong on the Apex. The motors end up taking a ton of abuse. Not just any billionaire. Good point. Only certain billionaires. I don't even think... Is Elon Musk even a Republican? I mean, I think he just sort of trolls people and says whatever he thinks will get people riled up. It means that tribalism has run amok and no one thinks for themselves. A drone droid is homing in on the answer. Yep. Everything has to boil down to which sports team you're on. Hey, do you like hot dogs? Nah, I don't really like hot dogs. Aha! You're a liberal, aren't you? Whoa. Hey, what's that you're drinking? Oh, that's kombucha. Aha! You're a liberal, aren't you? Oh, no, that's on point. That's actually fully on point. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I've really enjoyed this week being with you. We got about 5 minutes left in the stream. Aaron Ciotti is going to be coming on. He's posting a link to his stream right now. He's going to be doing a BQE ripsqueak repairs and just generally having a good time. Ciotti, I got your smart controller out to you today. By which I mean I put it in the mailbox. It didn't actually technically get there in time for the mail, I don't think. But what does liberal even mean in the United States? I don't know, Tertizi. I agree that's an issue. It just means, I think it just means anyone, I think it means it's just Democrats. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, though. Better not talk about white jeans. Deep reference. Oh. Thank you, R-Clamp, for a $2 super chat. I love your streams. They always make me laugh. Thank you so much. We're going to get the hell out of here before the politics takes over the stream. So far, no one has said anything that makes me want to kill myself. Oops, that's probably going to get me demonetized. I mean that in a metaphorical, figurative way, not a literal way. But I think we're going to end the stream before anything gets out of hand. A hot dog is a taco because it's on 3 sides. Sandwich is on 2 sides. The bread is on 2 sides with a hot dog, with a sandwich. Oh, what's the poll? Let's finish the poll. Thank you. I got to finish up the poll. Thank you for reminding me before I kill the stream. The Chimera is winning with 68% over the Reckon. So, poll results. Chimera, 68%. Reckon, 31%. There you go. If that's what you needed, now you have it. Thank you, Not V1, for a $5 super chat. Just finished my JB Edition V2. Build on a full JB FPV education. Maiden flight tomorrow. Thanks for everything. Thank you so much, Not FPV, for letting me help you through that experience. I hope it goes really great for you. Be careful when you're flying. We're going to get out of here. I'm just going to leave you with this. I love it so much. Oh, man. A lot of people watching don't remember this or weren't there for this. This cracks me the fuck up so much. I'm not going to retell the story, but good night, everybody. Ciotti, have a great stream. I am out of here. Oh, man.